Most videos about living in an RV focus on the freedom, the views, the travel, and the sunsets. But nobody talks about what happens when the excitement fades and this becomes your everyday life. Do not get me wrong, those things are real, but after years of living this way, I've learned something most people don't talk about. The hardest part of living full time in an RV, and no, it's not the size, it's the reality that shows up after the excitement wears off. If you're new here, I'm Jonathan. I live full time in this RV while working a regular job. Most RV videos focus on the adventure. This channel focuses on the reality. And that reality consists of the routines, the costs, the trade-offs of living full time in an RV. And if you ever considered living in an RV full time, there's one truth you should understand before making the jump. Living in an RV simplifies your space, but it does not simplify your life. Most people imagine that moving into an RV means less stress, less responsibility, and less pressure. But what actually happens is very different. Your house becomes smaller, but life still shows up. Work still shows up. Bills, unfortunately, still show up. Bad days still show up. And sometimes they all show up at the same time inside 300 square feet. Before long, you realize RV life slowly turns you into a mechanic, an electrician, a plumber, and sometimes a carpenter. All skills you never expected you needed, and so many tool belts you now bestow. Also, where do you keep all these tools? Another hard truth people don't talk about is routine. RV life online looks like constant movement. New parks, new towns, new views, and new adventures. But the reality for many people, especially if you work a regular job, is that your RV might not move very often. Mine doesn't, except for weekend resets. Monday through Friday, my motorhome sits in the exact same spot, the exact same RV park. I wake up, drive to work, come home, and repeat the same routine as people who live in a house. The only difference is my home can get a speeding ticket because, man, these wheels like to roll. And the truth is, that can feel strange sometimes because RVs are associated with weekends and vacations and escaping routine, as I mentioned in a previous weekend reset video. But when you live in one full time, the routine doesn't disappear. It just happens in a smaller space. And that brings up another truth most people don't expect to hear. Space doesn't just limit your belongings, it limits your ability to escape. For example, in a house, if you need space, you simply go to another room. In an RV, there isn't another room. There's just the space you're already in. This space is a box with some windows. You can see and almost touch every room sitting in one spot. And that forces something most people aren't used to anymore. Intentional living, like in the 1950s and 60s. No sprawling 4,000 square foot home, single car or no car garages. Back then, it was just simple, intentional living. You become more aware of your habits, your routines, your clutter, your time, because every single one of those things becomes incredibly visible immediately when walking into your tiny space. But here's the part most people misunderstand. These hard truths aren't the downfall or downside of RV life. They're what happens when life gets simpler. Living small strips away a lot of the distractions. You start to see what you really need, what truly matters, and how much of the rest was never necessary in the first place. After years of doing this, I've realized something important. RV life doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't magically make life easier. What it does do is cut through a lot of the noise. And when the noise disappears, you start seeing your life exactly as it is. Sometimes that's uncontrollable, but moreover, it lifts a weight off your shoulders and gives you a real sense of freedom. Because when your home is small, your priorities get smaller too. Do not get me wrong, things are still important, but you focus on the things that really matter to you. And that's where the real freedom shows up. Not in constant travel, not in picture perfect views, but in the ability to design a life that actually fits you, for you. Even if the life still includes a normal job, a routine, and a parked RV during the week. Living full time in an RV isn't easier, it's just simpler. And those two things are very different. If you're considering this lifestyle, just understand this. RV life won't change who you are, but it will reveal who you are. And that sounds a little scary, doesn't it? For some people, that ends up being the most valuable part of this entire experience. But when you live this way long enough, that pressure can slowly build and eventually something else starts to happen: burnout. And that's something almost nobody talks about when it comes to RV life. It's also something we'll talk about a lot more here because it's a very real part of living this way. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the real side of RV life, working a normal job, living in a small space, and figuring it out as you go, you're in the right place. And remember, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Soak it all in. We never know what tomorrow will bring. Hopefully, I will see you in the next one.